Welcome to the Purple Party known as Purple Nerd Channel, a home for all those who geek out on all things Prince related. Prince started working on a project with the working title of Lotusflow3r back in 2005 with plans of it being a triple CD set. He would eventually work this all down to a single CD and released it as 3121 on March 21st of 2006. He would revisit the Lotusflow3r concept again in 2007, recording new material and revisiting previously recorded material from 2005. This project would eventually become Planet Earth, released on July 24th, 2007. And once again, Prince would revisit the Lotusflow3r concept in 2008, compiling songs not used in the recording sessions of 3121 and Planet Earth, as well as recording new material. Lotusflow3r was released exclusively as a digital download to members of Lotusflow3r.com on March 24, 2009, and it released exclusively through the Minneapolis-based retailer Target on March 29, 2009, as a 3 CD set including Lotusflow3r and MPLSound by Prince, and Elixer by Prince's latest protege at the time, Bria Valente, at what I have to say is a steal for $11.98. Lotusflow3r peaked at number 2 on Billboard's Top 200, number 4 on the R&B charts, and number 1 on the independent charts, selling over 540,000 physical copies, not counting digital downloads from Lotusflow3r.com. It is rumored that Prince shipped 700,000 copies to Target, as the deal was a direct sell between MPG Records and Target, the same way a retailer like Procter & Gamble would sell Charmin toilet paper direct to Target. A video was released for Crimson and Clover. No singles were released from Lotusflow3r, but singles were released from the other 2 albums in this set, and I will talk about those singles when I talk about those projects on their own videos. Prince promoted this set by performing on the Jay Leno Show 3 nights in a row and performing on Ellen. The album continues the lesson that Prince was starting to teach us with musicology, as he continues to teach his listeners of what real music by real musicians sounds like, and shares his experiences of what music was like when he was coming up, as this album takes us through a musical journey of the 60s and 70s, and even touching a little bit on his career early in the 80s. The Lotusflow3r is a flower that symbolizes purity and a spiritual awakening, which is fitting for an album that thematically covers subjects similar to those of Prince's The Rainbow Children, but played and presented in a form much easier to digest. Let's go ahead and jump into this project as we open up with the instrumental from the Lotus. Which slowly brings us into the album with an almost 60s jazz vibe to it, leading us into the first song, Boom. A song played in true Gemini form as it goes from 60s psychedelic rock to hard 70s guitar rock. Lyrically, Prince's wordplay is fascinating and almost impossible to decipher at times. But I think what he's so eloquently describing is another universe and or reality free from this world's evil, where he and his lover can have ultimate sensual freedom before, boom, they have to come back to this reality. But I could be completely wrong. Next is, if you got the download version of this album, is The Morning After. A 60s style song with again some serious guitar work, as in the song Prince realizes how much he liked the woman that just left him that morning after their first encounter. If you would have got the Target set, then the next song would have been Crimson and Clover. Crimson and Clover. A cover of Tommy James and the Shondells' song of the same name from 1968. The song also borrows a few lines from Wild Thing by the Wild Ones. I love you, but I wanna know for sure. Of course, Prince ups the original with some, again, amazing guitar work, as this is a very guitar-driven album so far. Up next is Forever. In this song, Prince describes the moment right before he kisses his bride, realizing that this kiss will lead to a beautiful thing called forever. Next is Colonized Mind.
Upload, revolution principle.
This is a very powerful song, presented in a very original format lyrically with the terms upload and download, because the same way you can program a computer, you can also program your mind with historical, political, and theological principles. The main message of the song seems to be that if any of these thoughts, rules, regulations, or morals, or otherwise, are not from God's law, they will ultimately fail. Next is Feel Better, Feel Good, Feel Wonderful.
Feel better, feel better, feel good, feel wonderful.
This is a real fun song that basically has Prince saying, you can go ahead and hold grudges, and be mad, and be grumpy, and sit over there side-eyeing me, but I'm gonna keep smiling, I'm gonna keep looking up, staying positive, and you know what, on top of all that, I'm gonna wish you a wonderful day. Because there ain't no hard feelings over here. I wish you the absolute best. Next is Love Like Jazz.
Listen, baby, I don't care what you.
A song with a jazzy groove that has Prince requesting of his lover to be more spontaneous like jazz music, which is known for improvising. Next is 77 Beverly Park. This super cool instrumental is named after the Beverly Hills home that Prince rented in 2008 to live in and also record in. Next is The Wall of Berlin.
Yes, man. Oh, at least we pretend it's so fresh, knocking down the wall of Berlin.
In the song, Prince talks of a lady who has caught his eye, but they are very different when it comes to political thoughts and theological beliefs. But he finds common space with her, knocking down the walls that divided them, just like the Wall of Berlin in Germany when it was torn down when the country united. I don't know why, but this song has a familiar vibe to it, and it reminds me of Prince's song Elixer de Paris. Next is Money.
Whatever, all you need is your music, and you'll be a party machine, 'cause you'll be dancing.
Similar to the previous song, this also has a very familiar vibe to it. Strangely enough, also from Under the Cherry Moon, the song Love or Money. Which uses the money symbol in the title just like this one, and it features the same sped up vocals. In the song, Prince explains that all the cash, homes, cars, and other physical things you have accumulated don't make you rich. Real money is joy. Next is Dreamer. This is another song that has some very powerful lyrics. As allegedly inspired by Dick Gregory's speech at the State of the Black Union in 2008.
When I saw the State of the Black Union, Dick Gregory really moved me and a lot of my friends. I show it to everybody that comes over the house.
Prince speaks on race in America in painful details. He also talks about conspiracies surrounding chemtrails as well as Martin Luther King Jr. He refers to himself as a dreamer, which is a creative way of aligning yourself with the teachings of Martin Luther King Jr., spinning this title off his famous I Have a Dream speech, and using sleeping and awake metaphors way before we had the whole concept of woke. Musically, Prince summons the spirit of Jimi Hendrix on this one, and puts on what I would have to say is easily his top 5 of all time guitar performance. We close out with Back to the Lotus. What appears to be on the surface simply an instrumental to close us out of this album, with some unworldly sounds coming out of his guitar. There are some spoken words that are extremely distorted, and if you don't pay attention you might just think there's some type of musical cues, but he's actually saying some stuff at the end of this song. And to help everybody out, I will have a copy of what he's actually saying down below in the description. The lyrics and or words are very cryptic, but I believe the message as far as returning to the Lotus is a reset in purity. Whether he means that musically, as musicians are now more independent and in control of their own music, no longer having to rely on labels and record companies, or he could be talking about something personally, as after this album he would begin getting his masters back from Warner Brothers, which would be obviously a big reset in his life. Or maybe he's talking about something that's spiritual, as the Great Reset, which is when Jesus returns. This is one of those albums that every time I listen to it, I enjoy it more and I appreciate it more each time, and I seem to discover new things about it in the lyrics and in the music itself every time. You can also tell at this point in Prince's career he had really mastered music. He wasn't just a guy that played a bunch of instruments, he was a master at his craft on each one of those instruments, and the guitar is the one that really stands out on this album, as if he went into the studio to create this and said, I think they forgot that I play guitar, and just decided to go in there and show him what he could do. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Please like and share this video, and as always, please subscribe to the channel, and if you got a moment, go ahead and check out my Patreon page. I have all these videos uncut on there, plus a video that I had to take off YouTube is on there exclusively because I can't put it on YouTube. And that's a longer story for another video. But on the next episode, I will talk about the other Prince album in this set, and that is MPLSound. And until that next episode, I wish you heaven.